I was staring at my phone screen, my finger hovering over the send button on a birthday text to my sister Maya, when I realized we'd become strangers who happened to share DNA. The text was perfectly crafted, warm but not too personal, cheerful but not overly enthusiastic. Happy birthday! Hope you have an amazing day. Love you. It was the kind of message you send to a distant cousin, not your younger sister who used to share bunk beds with you and tell you everything. But that's what we'd become. Maya was turning 28 today, and I realized I had no idea what she actually wanted for her birthday, what was going on in her life, or even if she was happy. We talk maybe once a month, surface-level conversations about work and weather, carefully avoiding anything that might lead to the tension that always seemed to simmer between us. I was Jessica Collins, 31, successful marketing executive, the responsible sister who had everything figured out. Maya was the creative one, freelance graphic designer, constantly moving apartments, dating guys our parents worried about. On paper, we were supposed to be close. Sisters, best friends, each other's built-in support system. In reality, we were performing sisterhood rather than living it. I sent the text and immediately felt hollow. 3 minutes later, she responded, "Thanks. You too." Not even acknowledging it was her birthday, not mine. It was such a Maya response, deflecting, keeping things light, maintaining the distance we'd somehow created over the years. When had we stopped being real with each other? When had I stopped knowing my own sister? The moment that shattered my denial came 2 weeks later. I was at a work happy hour when my colleague Amanda started talking about her sister, laughing about some ridiculous inside joke they shared. "She's my best friend," Amanda said. "I tell her everything. I can't imagine life without her." I smiled and nodded, but inside I was drowning. I couldn't remember the last time Maya and I had laughed together about anything. I couldn't remember the last time either of us had shared something real, something vulnerable, something that mattered. That night I called Maya. Not texted, actually called. "Hey," she answered, sounding surprised. "Is everything okay?" The fact that she assumed something was wrong because I'd called her said everything about our relationship. "Yeah, I just wanted to talk. How are things?" "Fine. Busy. You know." The same safe responses we always gave each other. "Maya, when did we stop talking?" Like really talking. There was a long pause. "I don't know, Jess. Maybe when you started acting like Mom." The words hit like a slap. "What's that supposed to mean?" "You know what it means. You judge my choices, you give me unsolicited advice, you act like you know what's best for me. It's exhausting." I wanted to argue, to defend myself, but the truth was sitting in my throat like a stone. She was right. Somewhere along the way, I'd started treating our relationship like a project to manage rather than a bond to nurture. We ended the call awkwardly, both of us claiming we should talk soon, both of us knowing we probably wouldn't. The next few months became a series of forced attempts to fix our relationship using all the wrong tools. I started sending Maya longer texts with updates about my life, thinking if I shared more, she would too. Instead, her responses got shorter. I'd write paragraphs about work drama or dating updates, and she'd respond with oof, or that sucks, or emoji reactions. I tried planning sister activities, spa days, wine tastings, shopping trips. Maya would agree reluctantly and show up, but she'd spend most of the time on her phone or making polite conversation like we were acquaintances. I'd leave these outings feeling more disconnected than before. The worst was when I tried to help with her career. Maya had been struggling to find consistent freelance work, and I kept sending her job postings for full-time marketing positions, along with unsolicited advice about building a stable career and thinking about your future. "I don't want a corporate job," she finally snapped during one of our stilted phone calls. "I'm trying to build my own business. I'm just trying to help." I said, hurt. "No, you're trying to fix me. There's a difference." She was right again, and it stung. I'd been approaching our relationship like Maya was a problem to solve rather than a person to understand. I was being her older sister in the worst way, controlling, condescending, convinced I knew better. The breaking point came at our cousin's wedding 6 months later. We were seated at the same table, dressed up, looking like the perfect sister duo. But we barely spoke to each other all night. Maya spent most of the evening talking to our other cousins while I networked with family friends, both of us performing our roles as the successful sister and the artistic sister. During the bouquet toss, Maya caught the flowers. Everyone cheered and made jokes about her being next to get married. I watched her face fall, saw how uncomfortable she looked with the attention, and realized I had no idea why. Was she seeing someone? Was she happy? Was she struggling with something? I was her sister, and I knew nothing about her real life. That night, in our shared hotel room, we got ready for bed in silence. As Maya brushed her teeth, I finally asked, "Are you seeing anyone?" She looked at me in the mirror, toothbrush hanging from her mouth. After rinsing, she said, "Why do you ask? You looked upset about the bouquet thing." I did. Yeah. And I realized, I don't know what's going on in your life. At all. Maya sat on her bed, facing me. For a moment, I thought she might actually open up. Instead, she said, "Good night, Jess," and turned off the light. Lying in the dark, listening to my sister breathe, I felt the full weight of how far we drifted. We were sharing a room but living in separate worlds. "I think I've lost my sister," I confessed to my therapist, Dr. Lisa Park, a few weeks later. "And I don't know how to get her back." Dr. Park, who I'd been seeing for anxiety, looked thoughtful. "Tell me about your relationship with Maya." I launched into my usual explanation. How we were different, how Maya was irresponsible and I tried to help her, how she became distant and unresponsive to my efforts. "Jessica," Dr. Park interrupted gently, "you're describing a parent-child relationship, not a sibling relationship." The observation stopped me cold. "What do you mean?" "You're talking about helping her, guiding her, trying to fix her problems. What about just being her sister?" I stared at her, realizing I wasn't sure what that meant anymore. Dr. Park leaned forward. "I've been studying sibling relationships for 12 years, and I see this pattern often with older siblings, especially sisters. You've fallen into what we call the caretaker trap." She explained research from Oxford University that had followed 2,800 sibling pairs over 15 years. The siblings who maintained the strongest bonds into adulthood weren't the ones where one person took care of the other. They were the ones who developed mutual respect and genuine friendship. But isn't it natural for older siblings to look out for younger ones? There's a crucial difference between looking out for someone and managing their life. Between caring about them and trying to control them. Between being supportive and being parental. Dr. Park pulled out a study summary. Many older siblings, especially women, operate from what we call the guardian model. They feel responsible for their younger siblings' choices and outcomes. But the research shows that adult siblings thrive under the peer model, where they treat each other as equals deserving of respect and autonomy. My stomach dropped as I recognized myself completely. I've been treating Maya like she's still 12. The guardian model creates resentful younger siblings and frustrated older siblings. You're constantly worried about whether she's making good choices, and she feels like she can never measure up to your expectations or earn your approval. "But I do approve of her. I love her." Dr. Park smiled sadly. "I'm sure you do. But love and respect are different things. Do you respect Maya's right to make her own choices, even when you disagree with them?" The question hung in the air. The honest answer was no. I loved Maya, but I didn't respect her judgment. I thought I knew better, could see consequences she couldn't, should guide her toward better decisions. The Oxford study found that adult siblings who respected each other's autonomy reported higher relationship satisfaction, more frequent contact, and stronger emotional support than siblings who maintained hierarchical dynamics, Dr. Park continued. I thought about all my attempts to help Maya, all my unsolicited advice, all the ways I'd positioned myself as the wiser older sister. I've been suffocating our relationship with my good intentions. And how is that working for you both? Terribly, obviously. We'd gone from best friends to polite strangers because I couldn't stop trying to parent her. Changing 15 years of big sister habits felt like rewiring my brain. Every instinct I had about our relationship needed to be examined and often reversed. My first attempt was clumsy. Instead of sending Maya career advice, I texted her about something completely neutral. "Saw this weird coffee shop that serves cereal. Made me think of your obsession with Fruity Pebbles." She responded immediately, "OMG, where? I need this in my life." It was the most enthusiastic response I'd gotten from her in months, and all I'd done was share a random observation without trying to improve or help her. But breaking the caretaker habit was harder than I'd expected. When Maya mentioned she was stressed about a project deadline, my instinct was to offer solutions and strategies. When she posted about a dating disaster on social media, I wanted to give her advice about red flags and self-worth. Instead, I bit my tongue and just listened. That sounds really stressful, instead of here's what you should do. What a jerk, instead of this is why you need to be more careful about who you date. The real breakthrough came when I had my own crisis. I'd been passed over for a promotion I'd been counting on, and I was devastated. The old Jessica would have hidden this from Maya, maintaining my image as the sister who had everything together. Instead, I called her and said, I need my sister today. Something really shitty happened and I could use someone to talk to. What happened? Maya asked, and for the first time in years, she sounded genuinely concerned rather than politely interested. I told her about the promotion, about how blindsided I felt, about how I was questioning whether I was even good at my job. Maya didn't try to fix it or give me career advice. She just listened and said, That fucking sucks, Jess. Your boss is an idiot. It was exactly what I needed to hear. You know, Maya said after I'd vented for 20 minutes, you don't always have to be the one with everything figured out. What do you mean? I mean, it's nice to hear that your life isn't perfect. It makes you feel more like my sister and less like my life coach. The words hit deep. I'd been so focused on being the responsible one, the successful one, the one with answers, that I'd forgotten to be vulnerable enough for real relationship. Maya, I owe you an apology. I've been a terrible sister. You haven't been terrible. You've just been intense. Like you thought it was your job to manage my life. I did think that. I thought that's what being a good big sister meant. Being a good big sister means being my friend who happens to be older. Not my parent who happens to be related to me. A year later, our relationship looked completely different. Not perfect, we still had moments of friction, still had to navigate family dynamics and old patterns. But we'd learned to be sisters instead of playing roles in some family hierarchy. The change wasn't just in our big conversations, it was in the small interactions that rebuilt our connection. Instead of me always initiating contact with agenda-driven check-ins, we texted each other random thoughts, funny memes, weird observations about life. Maya started calling me when she was excited about something, not just when she needed help. I stopped trying to fix her problems and started simply being present for them. When she was stressed about money, I didn't lecture her about budgeting. I listened and offered emotional support. When she was dating someone new, I didn't analyze whether he was good enough for her. I asked what she liked about him and trusted her judgment. Most importantly, I started seeing Maya as my equal, not my responsibility. She wasn't my little sister who needed protection and guidance. She was a capable adult who made different choices than I would, and that was okay. Maya began sharing real things with me again. Her fears about her business, her excitement about new projects, her complicated feelings about our parents' divorce, her dreams for the future. She started asking for my opinion when she wanted it, rather than bristling at unsolicited advice. The most profound shift was in how we supported each other. Instead of me being the helper and her being the helpee, we became mutual sources of strength. When I was struggling with work stress, Maya helped me see things from a creative perspective. When she was dealing with a difficult client, I helped her think through business strategies. We became teammates rather than mentor and student. One evening, we were making dinner together at my apartment, something we'd started doing weekly. Maya was telling me about a guy she'd been seeing, and my old instinct was to ask probing questions and offer dating wisdom. Instead, I just listened and said, he sounds like he makes you happy. He does, Maya said, then looked at me thoughtfully. You know what's weird? I actually want you to meet him. Before, I never wanted to introduce you to anyone because I felt like you'd judge whether he was good enough. And now I trust that you'll respect my choices even if you don't understand them. She was right. I'd learned to separate my love for Maya from my need to control her life. I could care about her happiness without trying to engineer it. The moment I knew our sisterhood had truly healed was different from that lonely night in the hotel room. We were at another family event, our grandmother's birthday party, but this time we were genuinely together. We shared inside jokes, finished each other's sentences, and supported each other through awkward family conversations. Remember when we used to be best friends? Maya asked as we cleaned up after the party. We are best friends, I said. I know. But we're different now. Better. She was right. We'd gone from the complicated dynamic of big sister and little sister to something simpler and stronger. Two adults who chose to love and support each other. I like us better this way, I said. Me too. It feels more real. As we finished cleaning and said goodbye to family members, I thought about all the siblings out there who might be struggling the way we had, caught in old patterns, playing roles that no longer fit, loving each other but not knowing how to connect. The truth is, saving our sisterhood didn't require learning to love each other more. We'd always loved each other. It required learning to respect each other as equals, to let go of hierarchies that had outlived their usefulness, to be vulnerable enough for real intimacy. Today, when people ask me about having a sister, I tell them this. Stop trying to be the perfect older sister or the perfect younger sister. Start trying to be friends who happen to be siblings. Stop trying to manage each other's lives. Start trying to support each other's choices. Stop playing family roles. Start building an adult relationship. Because here's what I learned. Sisterhood isn't about one person taking care of the other. It's about two people choosing to show up for each other as equals. And that choice makes all the difference in the world. If you're reading this and recognizing your own sibling relationship in my story, please know this. It's never too late to start over. Your sister doesn't need you to be perfect or have all the answers. She needs you to respect her enough to let her live her own life while being genuinely present for the relationship you're building together. The research is clear, the path is proven, and the transformation is possible. You just have to be brave enough to stop playing your assigned family role and start being real with each other. Trust me, equality feels so much better than hierarchy.